Hey guys, it's Alicia. Today I'm going to be making a bundt cake. I'm going to be taking one of my favorite bundt cake recipes, which is the Boozy Peach upside down bundt cake. I will link that up above and down below. It is absolutely delicious. I'm going to be taking that and I'm going to be tweaking it a little bit to make a Boozy coconut pineapple upside down cake. Now, I love bundt cakes. I love what they look like, and really they're pretty easy to make. The most difficult thing I ever have with a bundt cake is getting it to release from the pan cleanly. Other than that, I think they're pretty simple, and again, they look really pretty. So as I said, I love my peach bundt cake, but I also love a good pineapple upside down cake. So I'm going to kind of just combine the two of them and see what I come out with. So let me jump in here and I will show you what you're gonna need for ingredients. First, you're gonna need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. You can use cake flour if you want. I don't ever buy specific flours like cake or bread. I always just use all-purpose, and it seems to work pretty well. So I'm using all-purpose. And then here I've got 1.5 cups of brown sugar and another 1/2 cup. Here I've got a 1/2 cup of coconut and 1.5 cups. Up here I've got some maraschino cherries. I cannot say that word. Gonna be using some of those. And then here I have a can of pineapple tidbits. Now, I would prefer to use the rings, but this is all I have on hand, and so that's what I'm gonna use. Here is 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. And then in here, I've got a 1/2 teaspoon salt and 1.5 teaspoons baking powder. Here is a teaspoon of vanilla. And then you're gonna need 6 eggs, 1 8-ounce brick of cream cheese, and you want that softened or room temperature. And then I've got 1 3/4 cups butter that you also want at room temperature or softened. And here is where the boozy part comes in. I'm using some coconut rum. I love coconut rum, and so I thought that would taste good in this cake since it's pineapple and coconut, kind of that tropical feel going on. So I'm gonna use some coconut rum. You could use regular rum, dark rum, whatever you want. And so that is gonna be it for the cake. I'm also probably gonna do a glaze. We'll see once I get this cake out if I end up doing a glaze. But if I do a glaze, I'm gonna be using more of the rum, some powdered sugar, some of this pineapple juice, and a little bit of vanilla, and that is it. First thing I'm gonna do is get myself a small saucepan here, and I'm gonna take a 1/4 cup of my butter, and I'm going to just throw that in there and get that melting. You also want to be preheating your oven to 325 while you're doing all this. Once I've got that butter nice and melted, I'm going to add in my 1/2 cup brown sugar. And I'm going to just mix that in there. And I'm also going to mix in a 1/2 cup of my coconut. And I'm going to just mix this until all that sugar has dissolved. Okay, I've got that about where I want it. So now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put it on the bottom of my bundt pan. So here I've got my bundt pan and I have sprayed it very, very liberally with this Baker's Joy here. Like I said, really the only problem I have with bundt cakes is them getting stuck in the pan and not coming out. So I sprayed that really well to hopefully prevent that. And now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna just kind of, as evenly as I can, put it on the bottom of the pan here. Now that I've got that done, I'm gonna take my cherries here and I'm just gonna kind of drop them here, there, and everywhere in here. Not in any particular pattern or anything. I like to have more cherries than I think most people put on their pineapple upside down cakes, but I'm just gonna put a few in here. I think they add a really nice little pop of color too. Okay, so I've got some of those in there. Now I'm gonna take my pineapple, and I went ahead and drained this into a separate little container because I'm gonna be using some of the juice of this for my glaze. And also, if you do not want to use alcohol in this recipe at all, I should have said earlier, you can definitely use the pineapple juice that you drain from this instead of alcohol. So now I'm gonna just take this pineapple and I'm gonna just scatter it along the bottom here. And again, rings would be better. They probably look nicer, but that's okay. This is what I got, so this is what I'm gonna use. And yes, my hands are very much washed and cleaned since I'm sticking them in this pineapple here. Okay, I've got that done. Now I'm gonna just set this aside and work on my cake. So first thing for the cake is you're gonna take your cream cheese and your butter that is left. And you're gonna just cream these together real well. And like I said before, you want both of these room temperature and soft because that's just gonna make that process go a whole lot easier. Once you've got that nice and cream, you're gonna add in your granulated sugar and the rest of your brown sugar. And you're gonna mix this really well on a medium speed for about 3 to 4 minutes, just to make sure it is really, really well mixed. And you wanna start out slow so you don't fling this everywhere like I tend to do. And while that's mixing, you wanna take your flour and your salt and baking powder and mix those together real well. My camera cut me off, but what I was showing was I got the cream cheese and butter all nice and creamed together, and now I'm just adding my eggs in one at a time, and I'm just mixing it until you don't see the egg yolk anymore. Now that I've got the eggs mixed in, I'm now gonna take my vanilla, put that in there. And then mix that up. I've got that mixed in. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take about 1/3 of my flour mixture and mix that. And now I've got 1/4 cup of that coconut rum here. I'm gonna pour half of that in, mix that. Put in half of the remaining flour mixture. Then I'm gonna mix that, followed by the remaining rum, and then the remaining flour. And again, you do not have to use rum. If you don't want to, you can use pineapple juice instead. I've got that all mixed. So now I'm gonna take my coconut here, pour that in, and I'm gonna just fold that in. I also decided to take half of that pineapple that I put in the bottom of the Bundt pan. I don't know if you can see in there, about half anyway. I pulled it back out and I'm gonna pour it in my batter. Now this would work a whole lot better for inside the batter to use crushed, but like I said, I don't have anything other than tidbits, so I'm just gonna make those work for both my top and what I put in the batter. But you don't have to put anything in the batter if you don't want to. I just figured it'd be fun to have a little bit of the pineapple in the actual batter too. And I wasn't gonna do it because it was tidbits, but why not? Here it is. I'll fold it in. And when I put this in the description below on for the instructions, I am going to say to use half a can of crushed pineapple, not the tidbits, but like I said, that's what I had, so that's what I used. But the crushed would definitely work a whole lot better than these. Okay, and now I'm gonna take this batter and I'm going to just pour it in here It is really heavy. As evenly as I can. Okay, now I'm gonna just smooth the top of this out. And now I'm gonna take it and put it in my preheated oven at 325 and bake it for about 80-85 minutes. I'm basically gonna just be baking it until I can insert a toothpick and it comes out clean and it's slightly browned on the top too. So I'll be back when this is done. I let this cook for 85 minutes. It is looking done, so I pulled it out. So now I'm gonna let it sit for about 15 before I take it out of this pan. I let this sit for 15 minutes and I've now taken it out of the pan, and now I'm gonna let it completely cool before I put the glaze on it. Okay, my cake is cooled over here. So now I'm going to make the glaze for it. In here I've got 2 cups of powdered sugar. Then I'm gonna add 1/8 of a cup of pineapple juice. And this is just the juice that I drained off of the canned pineapple. Then I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of this rum. And again, if you don't want to use alcohol, you can just use all juice for this. And just a little bit of vanilla, about 1/2 teaspoon. And then I'm gonna just whisk that up. And that's still pretty runny, so I'm gonna add another 1/4 cup powdered sugar to it. And that might still be a little too runny, but I'm gonna call it good. So now, I'm gonna take the glaze and I'm just going to drizzle it over the top of this. And that was still too runny, so I added a little bit more, another 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. So 2.5 cups. It's a little better. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. I've still got quite a bit of glaze left, but it tastes like glaze for me. My husband hates pineapple stuff, right? Like canned pineapple, cooked pineapple.
Desserts.
Desserts. Yeah, so he's not gonna touch this, but how's the glaze taste? You got some in your beard.
Tastes good.
Does it taste tropical?
Yeah. Like coconut rum.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. I'm gonna cut into it and show you what it looks like inside here in a second. Okay, now I'm gonna cut into this. There's the inside, the piece. Close up. Super moist. You can see a little bit of that pineapple in there. Now I'm going to taste this because, like I said, my husband hates anything pineapple. So I'm gonna give it a try and see what I think of it. That is so good. That is so good. It's actually better than I thought it was gonna be. It definitely tastes like a pineapple upside down cake, but it's got a richer flavor, I think. That Bundt cake is super, super buttery, very rich, and I think it pairs really, really well with the pineapple and the coconut and brown sugar. And that glaze just adds a little sweetness and more coconut flavor that just kind of ties all this together. I think I might actually like this better than the peach, but it's hard to say. They're both really good. I love pineapple upside down cake though. And so, yeah, that's a tough one to say which one I think is better. I'm gonna show you the inside of this here, if I can, a little better too. Just super moist, super delicious. It's not the prettiest, I don't think, as far as Bundt cakes go, but it still looks pretty good. That tastes amazing. Definitely, definitely something I will make again. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.